the time, but they do come in just to make a presence. Now, where I taught in mid-Dale schools, we had armed security when I started there in 1974. So armed security at schools is nothing new. And Mid-Dale is not a real good community right now, but they haven't had anything like this in their schools, because they do have armed security in each building. And to me, that has really helped. Now, my first year, I was at one school and then I switched to another. And fourth day of school, we did have a murder right inside the front doors of the building. It was one girl had planned it. Both girls, back then, that's when they had reform schools, and they'd been in the reform schools together. And they lived in the same apartment complex together. And one girl, they got in a fight the night before, so one girl put a butcher knife in her purse. When the bell rang and they came through the front door, and she got her right to the back of the neck, killed her right there. But the security took over, and there wasn't anybody else hurt. Just that one. And to me, that's the only, and I'm not for taking lives. I own guns, but I'm not licensed to carry. All of mine are shotguns and rifles for hunting. That's the only purpose they have. Now, one of them is a semi-automatic. It's a semi-automatic 20-gauge Frankie shotgun, but according to some of the gun laws proposed, it would be illegal. And but if you have armed security, like they did have security at Uvalde, but I haven't heard whether he was armed or not yet. One.
He was not there.
He was in.
And before, there was a teacher had gone out and propped one of the doors open.
Oh.
For what reason, nobody knows.
It's hard to keep everything locked up in a school, especially elementary, because you have these little kids that have to go to the restroom, and when they go to the restroom, you have to open up your locked classroom door for them to go, and then you have to open it up for them to come back in. So it's hard to keep all of that going.
That's kitchen deliveries and stuff.
Especially in an elementary school, it's hard to do that. The answer, I don't know. You know, armed security helps. But is it gonna totally stop it? No. There's no way, I don't think there's any way you can stop something like that from happening.
I wanna know what Dee's saying. What's Dee saying?
I thought they were having an assembly in part of the school giving out awards because they showed these little kids, this one precious child that got her award and then later said she was shot.
Yeah,
But see, they had this stuff going on in part of the school,
yeah.
maybe
Well,
over in
and
another
it only
area.
had the grades 2 through 4.
And they had
So-
something going on because they showed that they were giving out these certificates. like
Yeah,
that.
the different awards, like
And,
any school.
I thought
And
maybe,
like-
I thought maybe stuff going on, maybe it distracted adults from seeing what, I don't know.
Well, so it comes back to us right here as a community of faith. What are we gonna do? As I asked my cousin, well, what are you gonna do, John?
Yeah.
But, you know, and we think that, oh, that happened way over there, or that happened up in New York, or that happened in Chicago, that hadn't happened here. I got news for you, it can happen here.
Oh yeah, it could happen in Lexington, it could happen in Purcell, anywhere. It could
So
happen.
as a church community, what are we gonna do about it? What can we do about it?
Yeah,
And I'm not asking for answers today.
it's just something we need to
I
think
can't
about.
think of anything we can do about it. It goes way back to where parents raise children right.
Well, we're changing.
You got it right there.
We're the changing.
There's your answer.
That's what the whole problem is.
That's your answer.
It's anger. People get angry and they don't deal with it right.
They're not taught. I'll tell you how I feel it started, because Billy Graham used to occupy, every quarter, or so of the year, he would be on the 3 channels that we had at the time, and they would devote, what, 3 hours to Billy Graham, or 2.5 hours? Everybody heard the same message. And I
But
remember,
that's not why I became a Christian.
but he's not there anymore, is what I'm
But
saying.
that's not why
No.
I became a Christian.
But the country, if they wanted to see it, were exposed to the Word of God, that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about religion, but the Word of God.
Yeah, for the people that wasn't going to church, this is some way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they could sit at
that's
home
true.
and watch it.
And they should have had their children and everybody else paying attention.
But
Yeah,
don't you
and-
think it's a cultural thing though, of, teaching our children to
Well-
respect property, respect each other?
Where is Billy Graham? I mean, where is someone that took his place to stand out and say, this is the Word of God, that, I mean, you
Well,
don't
they
see
take-
it.
They take things like that off and put on some stupid.
Exactly, that's part
Oh,
of
you
it.
mean like Survivor?
Stupid stuff.
And
But,
Reality TV, I mean.
part of it is, you all know and I know, and it was still when I was teaching, we started the school day off with the pledge of allegiance to the flag and with prayer.
Yeah, right.
that was my next point. They got rid of the 10 Commandments out of the school. I was there when it happened, I was growing up, I think our kids had it. But now it's gone, you can't mention the 10 Commandments, they went out the back door, but like I've told Bonnie before a while back, in came Satan in the front door, in came evil. You can't have the 10 Commandments up, you can't talk about it, we're all, gonna coexist and mix our cultures and everything.
I'm
So,
playing devil's advocate here.
well,
Okay?
go ahead.
Okay,
You can't talk about the 10 Commandments.
well,
So where do the kids get if they're not in church?
That's a separation of church and state.
That's
Yeah.
another thing, yeah, that's what I meant.
Well, and that's it, I
But-
mean, we're not taught, okay, I've had this in my mind for a long time, okay, and that is, okay, and I know that Karen can probably address this too. There were what, five tenets that the Air Force had about, service before self. I forget, there's 4 or 5 of them. Every one of the branches of service says nothing at all about religion, it doesn't say anything at all about that, except how to live with each other. And, how can we teach that, we don't have, it doesn't matter if you're Jewish, Muslim, Christian,
It doesn't matter.
Hindu, or anything else, they're always going to be, gotta get my telephone, of course, but, it was, I didn't realize that pretty much all of the services had it, but let me see if I can find it.
How does that help the little children?
Well, if we were teaching them this from the time that they were small, we wouldn't have, it has to be done.
It can't be the 10
And then
Commandments.
somebody's gonna
Well,
say,
I
that's
would worry.
indoctrination.
Well, yeah,
well, there
it
you
is,
go.
but it's cultural
You can teach
indoctrination.
the theory that the 10 Commandments represent
Yes.
without making a religious statement about
Call it humanity,
it.
Yeah.
the
you can-
humanity.
Yeah.
I got news for y'all. The Jewish religion teaches the same thing.
Yep.
Hinduism teaches
Yep.
the same thing. Buddhism teaches the same thing. That all the major religions teach the same
Yes.
thing.
Right.
But people pervert it. Huh.
Yeah.
I
Go
mean,
figure.
So who's gonna stop the perversion?
Yeah. Well, they're again. Personally, I worry about the community that I'm in.
Yeah.
I worry about my community.
Well, I worry about
Because
your
I
grandchildren.
can't.
Yeah.
I worry about your grandchildren. I don't have grandchildren, but I'm very
No, but
upset about
everybody
what's going
else is.
on with the youth.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
It's
But-
scary.
It is scary. It's very scary.
Like somebody pointed out a little while ago, the biggest problem with the youth is lack of respect.
Yeah.
Not just, like I told my students, the number one respect in my classroom, I said, it's not toward me, you're gonna respect me, that's a given, that's no problem. But you're gonna respect each other 100%, or I'm gonna leave your face. I said, I cannot tolerate disrespect of any type. I don't care if it's first grade or second grade. You're not going to disrespect each other in front of me, plain and simple. You're not gonna say disrespectful things about other teachers, principals, somebody's parent. You're just not gonna do it. And that's the way I was, and if they did, I blew up in their face. Nowadays, I couldn't do that, but back then I could.
Well, and
We have a big loss of morals too. They don't-
Exactly.
they don't have
But
it
see,
no more.
that's what this comes to. is
They don't know right from wrong. They do stuff that's
Right.
disrespectful, and they don't know they're being disrespectful.
I believe the current saying, and has been for a number of years, is it's only wrong if I get caught.
Yeah, there's
Right.
that.
I can't tell you how many times I read that.
Okay,
I think they can get it from their parents.
they're called core values, okay? And if we have a culture that has core values, integrity first, service before self, excellence in all we do, okay? And those are the three. I think that, there's more. I think the Navy has more, and I think the Army has even some more.
Thank God we're approve of all those.
Well, and that's what I'm saying, you don't have to say the Ten Commandments, you don't have to say anything that has a religious flavor to it.
And
This is,
living right isn't about religion,
no, it
it's
isn't.
about
So
knowing God.
put those on the wall and teach those.
Yeah,
You gonna have the teachers do that?
I would.
They would find a problem with it, but
In
Well,
today's
that's another
world,
thing, teachers unions,
Yeah.
but don't get me started.
Well, I don't know, I think if they saw the good that could come out of that, okay,
And some of them do, but then there's these evil ones that do everything to countermine. I mean, that's Satan at
well,
will.
gee, have you ever thought that, guess what, it's always been there.
I know, forever and ever. I
Yes,
mean,
remember the snake, I mean,
well, I've been reading in Second Kings, and it's like, it's so adaptable today, and it was like, oh, I gotta hurry up and get to the next chapter and find out what this crooked, crazy king's gonna do next.
Okay, here we go, the 12 universal core values, okay? Power, authority, leadership, dominance, social power, and wealth, okay, right, but achievement, success, capability, ambition, these are not the ones that I was thinking of them. Okay, loyalty, duty, fulfilling your obligations, respect, selfless service, how often do we see that being emphasized? Honor, integrity, and personal courage. And it's sort of like, I think what she was talking about, if you're faced with somebody who says, I'm gonna kill you, or I'm gonna, do something else, fine, I know where I'm going,
Yeah.
so, go ahead, shoot me. If that's really what you wanna do, and if that's really gonna satisfy something about you.
So in Matthew, go back to what Jesus says now.
That probably.
In Matthew, Jesus is talking about parables, and he says, though seeing, they do not see. Though hearing, they do not hear or understand. In them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. You will be ever hearing, but never understanding. You will be ever seeing, but never perceiving. For this people's heart has become callous.
Oh, yeah.
They hardly hear with their ears, and they have closed their eyes. Otherwise, they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn, and I would heal them. I think a majority of this country, because church attendance has continued to fall, and will continue to fall, and by, I think it's 2050, if as current trends go, church will be like an afterthought, as it is in Europe, throughout Europe.
We don't speak that into existence.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We as a church community, and it doesn't matter, Baptist, Pentecostal, church down the street, around the corner. You know, we all have the same responsibility.
Yeah.
There's gotta be some way that, you know, and we all believe this, we basically all believe the same thing. But there ought to be, even though we sit and talk about it, pray about it, preach about it, the world is just becoming more and more callous. And part of that, I'm sorry, you know, part of that I attribute to, you know, the TV that we watch.
So they're making everything,
What's available.
The video
media.
games.
What's that?
Video games.
social media, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
TikTok and all that.
Well, they're making everything seem acceptable.
Even TV, oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I think-
Yeah, well, like you said, TV.
Well, and
Yeah.
what David was saying about an afterthought, church is an afterthought. We've all made a point of being here, but, you know, for however many people that are at home, they don't even think about it, you know, and if they do, it may be an afterthought on Easter or Christmas or Memorial Day. You know, maybe that might be one that they're here, but, you know, we're not too different at this point than Europe.
Just gotta go enough that it feels weird not to go.
Well, that's true, yeah.
I see your point. We have identified the problem and discussed it. Now,
Now, what are we
now,
What are we gonna do about it?
that's your question, right? I mean,
You
that's
have
the
to, you have to make a pill that has empathy in it.
Yeah.
Oh, a pill to be nice.
That'd be good.
But I think we are doing something by starting the program
Love
of
Day.
Love Books. I think we are doing something, we are reaching out
Yeah.
to a group that needs, you know, touch. So,
Yeah.
where do you start? Well, that's a little bit, and we hope to grow it. So,
Well-
and what, you know, I don't know, you know, we continue the food bank. We try to carry on that
Well,
giving. You know, I don't know how many more things we can do, but work at the things we have.
Well, or, you know, like, what was it, 2 years ago that we did the picnic in the park? You know,
Right.
At least, you know, most people didn't realize there was a Methodist church,
Yeah.
you know, until that.
Until that day, yeah, you're right.
You know, and we need to, when we can, do that type of thing again, so that all of the people that are out there that, you know, may not drive by here and see a sign and think about it, so.
So unfortunately, boy, time flies when you're having fun. Yeah. And certainly not seeking out any answers today, but you know, these are things that we need to think about as a church community, these are things that we need to
Like
try to.
Jaquita and everybody has agreed that, you know, pray over it, God, please show us how we can help.
But the bullies have so much fun together,
I know.
bullying everybody. I was telling Robin about my family situation.
That will never change.
That's homie, yeah.
Mhm.
And, that's what I've heard for 46 years. You can't change them. That's just family.
That's just narcissists.
Just don't pay any attention to them.
Well, but that's easy
I thought,
to
well,
say.
In the case of what's going on in our country though, you have to pay attention to it, you just have to. But bullying's been going on since
Yeah.
Cain and
Cain
Abel.
and Abel, yeah. I was thinking that, how far back?
And that's probably never gonna change. But if you read the scriptures and you understand what they're saying, you know, we're headed in that direction where we expect Christ to return. But I will also mention, as I was reading today in 2 Peter, people have been waiting for a long time. But, you know, to God, it's like that. Because God doesn't want anybody to perish, even the bullies.
Oh darn.
Oh, that's the hard part.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes praying for.
Well, you know what the
bullies,
hard
but-
part is? That young man that killed all those children, God doesn't want him to perish either.
I understand that, I understand that.
That's hard to understand.
Yes, well, I understand it.
Well, and that's
He
why I
didn't.
said I didn't wanna hear anything about him, because in my
there's no excuse, but then empathy had to rear its ugly head. It's kinda like praying for people that
Oh,
really
you
get
mean
under your
like
skin.
Jesus was telling us to be empathetic?
Trying to make excuses for this and that and this and that on what
Yeah, that's what
happened.
I felt like they
It's
were trying to make
Basically,
excuses.
one person to blame.
Right.
Well,
And
and his
now,
parents
could
and
other
grandparents.
people done things differently and better? Yeah, and they'll learn from it.
Right,
But as far as this one incident, there's one person to blame.
Yeah.
But,
Now,
but it
what
wasn't all
caused
his
that?
fault, okay? I know he did that, but he wasn't raised well.
it just is wild that so many 18-year-olds have been making the news
Yeah.
with this. I'm so shocked when they say they were 18 years old. And it's like,
Or
Like
16.
more.
How about the 12 and 15-year-olds that are killing people?
That's just like a girl down there said, you cannot buy liquor until you're 21, but you can go out and buy a multiple shotgun
At
at
18,
18.
and without any background check.
Right.
The states can change those laws.
Yeah.
The state
Yeah.
used to change those laws.
But we got people up there in Washington says,
Yeah.
we gotta have these guns. It's none of your business what I have.
The states, no, Washington, I don't even look at. The states need to do that. The
yeah,
states.
that's it.
I don't think
That's
that
a
should happen
totally
in
another
Oklahoma.
2-hour
And then the gun sales have gone up
Yeah.
because of the.
They've gone up because of people buying protection.
Yeah.
But why do you need a gun with 30 rounds?
I
know.
agree.
If I can't get it done in 6.
I guess
what
we
can
have
I
that,
do?
that's not at 60.
Gotcha. What? What?
It may be really bad shot.
For
Oh,
15.
that's, I see.
Yeah, but when you get in a room like this here, he's gonna be missing 30 times.
Yeah.
Then he shot, 130 times.
Well, and he did that out in the parking lot before he even started, you know, so if he hadn't had all of that ammunition to back that up.
He had backpack on.
Yeah.
In armor.
Yeah, they were talking about the fact that, you know, wearing the Kevlar protection tactical stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Was a
gonna be a
big part of
chicken shit, but I wanna protect myself.
See, that's why the sales have gone up.
Yeah.
It's not people buying guns that don't commit stuff like that. It's people buying guns for
Remember, a
self-protection.
few months ago, they brought this child into the principal's office because he was threatening, and they wanted him out of school, and the parents wouldn't take him out of school?
It's the worst time.
Remember that, just a couple of months ago? And, yeah, they took him to the principal's office, and they tried to get the parents to take him home. It's like, no, we want him in school, and he came back and shot people. It was just a couple of months ago, I can't
This
remember
was
the
like a
name.
10-year-old.
No, it was I thought he was older than that.
No,
It's
this-
like 14. I think it was like 14.
Well,
Yes.
the one I'm
It wasn't
thinking
his
of,
birthday. But
but
anyway, the school wanted him out, and the parents said no.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for your time. Y'all can stay here and talk about all your needs.
Yeah.
Some of us work for a living.
hope we didn't see her.
Oh, she's fine.